Hey everyone, today we're going to talk all about the included food on Norwegian Encore, not Anthem of the Seas. So let's go get into it. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Yes, I just realized I have an Anthem of the Seas shirt on and I'm talking about Norwegian. Poor planning on my part. So today we're going to talk about your included food, which is the food that is included in your cruise fare. Sometimes I say free. That really upsets people because of course you are paying for the cruise. But anyway, let's get into what is included in your cruise fare. First up, let's go all the way up to the top of the cruise ship and let's talk about the buffet, which is the Garden Cafe. Garden Cafe is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It usually starts somewhere between 6:30 and 7 a.m. in the morning where you can get coffee and some snacks, and then it obviously progresses into full breakfast, full lunch, full dinner. They're not closed very long during the day. It's usually about a half an hour in between shifts. So let's talk about breakfast first. Pretty standard breakfast fare. You can get your breakfast eggs. They have crepes, pancakes, waffles, bacon, sausage, potatoes, all of the things that you would normally get. They do have cereal, they have yogurts, they have all different types of things. In my experience on all cruise ships, breakfast is usually pretty good. It's very standard. They have stations where you can make an omelet, where you can have eggs. They do have eggs Benedict, and then they switch up, some different things every day. Now, lunch in the Garden Cafe and dinner are going to be kind of a similar setup. So as you walk in, there are two sides to the buffet. There's a right side and a left side. As you walk up a little bit, there is a little tiny middle section. It's where you're going to find your burgers and hot dogs, your chicken, your French fries, those type of quick grab and go things, as well as salads. Now, those are pretty standard for all your meals. You can find pizza, burgers, hot dogs, chicken, some type of sausage, like I said, French fries, those type of things in that middle section. If you stay on the right-hand side of the buffet as you go to the back, you're going to have some different options. You're going to have like a noodle soup, almost like a pho that you can make that they'll make for you. You basically pick out what you want and they'll add broth and make you a soup, which is really cool. If you are on the left side of the buffet and you go all the way towards the back, you're going to have your Indian fare. So you're going to have a cold and a hot Indian section. And then obviously for lunch and dinner, they're going to have different specials and different things going on. Sometimes they run different nights. They'll do like an Asian night. They'll do an Italian night. Obviously seafood. So those type of things. So all of that food, in my opinion, is pretty good. Again, my whole thought with included cruise food is that it's usually okay. There's nothing that you're going to go there and you're going to be blown away and be like, oh my God, it's the best steak I've ever had on the cruise ship. Of course not, right? It's pretty standard fare there. Breakfast is always your best bet. Lunch is fine, grab and go. And then dinner is, to me, it's your mileage may vary. If you love Indian food, the Indian food's going to be great. If you love those noodle soups or anything like that, it's going to be great. If you want just, a salad and a sandwich, you'll be fine. Where I think it goes a little bit off the rails is when you start eating like the normal dinner foods, like your chicken parmesans, your steaks, your spaghetti, and different things like that. I think those can be kind of pretty. I haven't said pretty mid, like I'm young, pretty middle of the road. Let's say that, so I don't seem overly goofy as an old man talking like children. I don't want to say any silly phrases like that. It's really funny that I haven't said that, but it's pretty middle of the road. So it's okay. You're not going to rave about it. You're not going to be upset about it. I just don't find it a place where I go out of my way to look for those type of things. If I go to the buffet, I'm generally sticking to grab and go Indian food or some type of noodle soup. Other than that, food, they have desserts as well. So they'll have your puddings, your ice creams. All of those are great. They have soft serve and regular ice cream, all included in your cruise fare. The ice cream machines are around the back a little bit. But everything's great. I think you'll enjoy the buffet. Again, for me, when you're talking about included cruise fare and food, it's all about expectations. And I think if your expectation is, hey, it's going to be fine and we're going to go there and we're going to eat these meals, not really picky about food, you'll be totally fine. Next up, let's get into taste, savor, and the Manhattan room. These are your included main dining room, so to speak. Norwegian does dining rooms a little bit different. It is a little more freestyle, as they call it, where you can kind of just show up. You can certainly make a reservation, but you can show up whenever you want. They'll give you a little beeper, and you can just wait and go sit down. Same for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Lunch, of course, only on sea days. Lunch is not open on port days in the main dining rooms. Taste and Savor are both located on deck 6F in between the mix bar. And again, you can go there and you're going to see pretty much the same menu almost every day for breakfast. There are little variations, and they'll come around with different pastries. And I think I really enjoy breakfast in the dining room. It's one of my favorite things on Norwegian. They're very like upbeat. They have people who come around and sing to you with little pastries, depending on what ship you're on. And I always find breakfast to be a nice, relaxing way to start your day on a cruise. Generally speaking, if you go early, it's not very crowded. It doesn't get like that real nutty hustle and bustle. So I really enjoy that. And again, it's a nice low pace. For lunch, it's usually never super crowded on sea days. I think that's a nice experience as well. Dinner, it's going to be my same recommendation as the buffet. I think if you're okay with some standard fare, spaghetti, meatballs, different things like that, and you are not a picky eater, you're not going to have a problem at all. You're going to enjoy your dinner. Again, nothing's going to blow you away. There's nothing on these cruises in the main dining rooms where I'm like, oh my God, even, they're going to have lobster nights and different things. You got to remember too, they're making lobster for thousands of people. So you're not going to get this succulent lobster and cooked perfectly. Same with your steaks and everything else. It's very hard to mass produce that type of food and make it truly spectacular. Is it good? Sure. Is it fine? Is it acceptable? Is it good for what you're paying? Are you getting a good value with all your food included? You absolutely are. Would you be disappointed if you didn't eat specialty dining? Not at all. The food is absolutely fine. If you've been to Disney or any like all-inclusive resorts, the food is on the same level there. There's no difference to me. I think the food in the main dining room is pretty good. Manhattan room is going to be located all the way in the back of the ship on deck 7. It's going to be below Cagney's and Los Lobos. The Manhattan room on Encore is a little disappointing to me. Same with the one on Joy. On the Breakaway and Getaway, I love what they did with the Manhattan room or the Tropicana room. Is they had this vast dining room with like singers and dancers in there, and it's an open space. It's a little more hustle and bustle. There's music playing. I love that. They don't do that on Encore and Joy and those ships. It's more of just like a tighter fit. It's still the same configuration. The dance floor is just not used. They don't have those type of things going on. So from that perspective, that's just what's going on there. So that's my opinion on the Manhattan. Next up, let's talk about the local. The local is one of my favorite included food options on any cruise ship. It's located midship-ish on deck 7, right above the atrium. There's a ton of seating here. It is open almost 24 hours a day. They do close for like 10 or 15 minutes at a time to turn things over for the next meal. But I really enjoyed it. It's your standard pub fare. It's my like go-to place as soon as I get on the ship, if it's not like after 1 o'clock, because then it gets really, really crowded on day one. But you get a really good meal there. You get they have your pretzel bites, hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken wings. They have Cuban sandwiches, fish and chips. All the things that you would think of to get in like a bar. They do have a pretty wide menu of sandwiches and different things as well. And again, lots of little snacks there to hold you over if you just want something quick. For breakfast, they have a standard breakfast menu where you get like eggs over easy, scrambled eggs, all those different things. You can get egg sandwiches, and usually each day they have something different, like pancakes, waffles, whatever it is. So not a huge selection there for breakfast, but I find it to be more relaxing than going up to the buffet and quicker than going to the main dining room. Port days, be wary, just be a little bit aware that it does get crowded really early on port days because people are trying to grab something quick and get off the ship. So not my recommended place to go. If you wait a little bit on port days till like maybe 8 in the morning, you're probably good. But every time I went down there at 7 or like 6:30, whenever they opened up early, it was packed on port days and empty on sea days. So, and then for lunch and dinner, same thing. The menus are really nice. And then they have late night snacks, which is just a little bit of a pared down menu with your pretzel bites, chicken wings, hot dog, and those type of things. They have a hamburger there that's really good. So I love the local. It is O'Shea's on some of the other ships. Same food, different decor. I actually like the decor of O'Shea's better. I think it's a little more obnoxious, dare I say. It's a little more pubby. And the local is a more sterilized version of that, although the food is exactly the same. So, and it's a great place if you want to watch a show. You just have to get there early because they do have a railing that looks down into the atrium. It just does get packed for the shows, just like the atrium, which is one of my only pet peeves on these ships, that the atrium's just a little bit too small for the shows. Next up, let's talk about the American Diner, a recently made included food option. It used to be specialty dining, which I thought was a little bit out of line. Although I would have paid like $5 or $10 for it, knocking it down to included in your cruise fare, I think is great. So American Diner going to be similar fare to the local, although it's located up on the pool deck on deck 17. So cool options there. You get your nachos. It's a little more laid back, casual dining, a little bit off of the pool deck. So you're in the back there on the upper pool deck, right below the racetrack. So you can grab some hamburgers, like I said, nachos, kind of light fare. And then they have some milkshakes that you do have to pay extra for. I think they're $7, which, I mean, it's unnecessary. They look like they were really good, but I don't really think that you need to pay extra when you can go get ice cream and do all those different things. But if you like milkshakes and you want a milkshake, go for it. To me, the American Diner is better than Johnny Rockets on Royal Caribbean. It's kind of in that same feel, that diner feel, a little bit better. And they do open for breakfast as well. They're not open for dinner, only for lunch and breakfast. Breakfast, pretty simple, standard breakfast there. And then lunch is your fun time to grab something interesting. It wasn't overly crowded, way more crowded than it was when it was specialty dining, but not overly crowded. I went there twice, never had to wait or anything like that. Last but not least, let's talk about room service. Room service is technically included in your cruise fare. You have to pay a service charge of $12 to have it delivered, which is a little bit out of pocket, I think. Although one of the tricks you can do is that you can, if you have a few people or a group of people staying with you in different rooms, you can all just order one room service. You can get as much food as you want and pay that one service charge. The food is good. I had a burger one day. I had some fruit. I had some soup. I wanted to try a couple different things. It all came up. It was pretty warm and good. Generally, that's the thing that you're going to run into with the room service is it's going to be a little bit cold because they're bringing it up from downstairs. It takes a while to get it. It took me about 45 minutes to get lunch on a port day. So I can't even imagine ordering on a sea day. I'm shocked that a lot of people order. So since you do have to pay extra for it, it kind of shocks me that people order. But food is good. That will conclude our included food. At this point, I would love to ask you to subscribe. Should have done that a long time ago, and I completely forgot. We would love to have you join our fun community here. We're just going to give you some expert cruising tips, some behind-the-scenes access, and give you some insider looks at the cruise life. And we have a great community here of seagoers who love cruising. So come join us, be part of this group. Thanks so much. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.